Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 76. And today, Cam, we are broadcasting outside.
Yeah.
Feels so good to be outside.
Fucking nice,
I mean,
man.
fall is in the air. Do you remember in years past that even in September, it still felt like it was August, like 90-degree weather? It never felt like this.
I feel Halloween-y, baby.
And the Stanley Cup final is going on right now.
Why am I so
What?
fucked up in my head?
I know.
Like, what a nice golf course. I can't even tell the name of the golf course because I think the fucking...
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it, but the members are fucking... Look, this is how prestigious this golf course is. The members of the golf course don't want us to bring it up. It's a blues event here.
They're like, we don't
want
any...
Cam to talk about.
No,
Like, what the fuck
we don't
not?
need the exposure. This is
Then
big
fine.
time. This is
Then
big
I
time.
don't give a shit anyway. The course is unbelievable.
Seen some unbelievable golf here, by the way.
Holy fuck, was I bad today?
Were you bad?
I was all right.
Do you take it serious?
No, I don't.
Are you one of those?
No. Do I look like one of those? Do I look like one of those?
Do you drive a car? You carry a...
No,
you
I'm a
carry a
princess.
bag?
No, fuck, I'm a princess.
Did you smoke a cigar today?
Oh, smoke a cigar. Smoking shit left and right, baby.
Really?
Fucking A.
On the course.
My mind's right. I've been out here for 8 hours. You're lucky I'm standing up
Who'd
right
you
now.
play with today?
Bunch of wealthy people.
Yeah?
Yeah. They might sponsor the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you talk about it?
Yeah.
Did you talk about the hockey? Pump it up? That's part of your job, you know.
Listen, idiot boy. They spent $20,000 on me because they know about the podcast.
I-
So do I need to explain that to you?
It's funny.
homie?
It's funny, and we're going to be dropping Kelly Chase soon. But he just said something in an interview that we did where you got to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's a line that Ken Hitchcock used to use as a head coach. Part of being a coach is trying to get your players being comfortable while they're uncomfortable.
You know what's uncomfortable?
I'm trying to do that with you.
You know what? Well,
Okay.
You know what's uncomfortable with me?
I always tell Cam, do you want to take your boat in the Merrimack River, or do you want to take your boat in the
To
Gulf
where?
of Mexico?
No.
Where do you want to be?
My boat's a fucking river boat, idiot. So if I
is there
take
such thing?
fuck yeah,
Really?
So if I took my boat to the fucking Gulf, we're swamped and we're dead. Do you want that? So when you ask me that, I'm like, no, my boat's a river boat. It's got a 383 stroked out fucking jet engine on the back of that fucking
I
thing.
got to make a major announcement here.
What?
Okay, we're now offering this to our listeners for $99.95. I feel like it's a good price.
What?
For
What are you asking
I'm
them?
driving in the car yesterday. Cam calls, and my daughter's in the car, and he starts dropping F-bombs left and right. And I said, Cam, my daughter's in the car. Let's limit the F-bombs. Okay?
And I do.
Now, normally when
And
I
I
tell
do.
you that, you stop for like 30 seconds, and you go back. You're like,
No.
Oh, God, you're right. Sorry. So anyway, I said, we're on my way to my daughter's soccer game. I need you to give her a pump-up
Oh, I
speech,
know how to do
and
that.
you delivered
I'm the best.
one of the greatest. It would have made Newt
I'm the
Rockney jealous, okay?
the best of
One
the
of the
best.
greatest pump-up speeches that we've ever heard. My daughter's 9, played a great soccer game,
she?
had an unbelievable game.
Did she?
She was aggressive. She was into it, had a hell of a game.
She was?
We won the game 3-2. And so, listen, here's my idea for anybody out there. If you have a son or daughter playing hockey,
Oh,
basketball,
fucking
football,
pump 'em up, dude.
$99.95.
99?
$99.95.
$99?
Yes.
For me to pump them up?
You want a pump-up speech? Live conversation
Fuck,
with your
man.
son or daughter before they go out and
I'll
play the game
fucking bring
from
it.
Cam?
I'll bring the
$99.95.
And I'll
Do you
watch
have
my
a
language.
different price?
And I'll watch my fucking language.
Do you have a different
no,
price?
Listen to me. I know how to pump people up. My fucking dad, who is a construction worker, knew nothing about anything. He pumped me up every fucking day, and I was the toughest and I was the strongest. Even though maybe I wasn't, but he pumped me up. I know
He
how to
told
do it.
you were.
Oh, and I believed it. And I believed it.
Well, you have to,
Oh,
man.
I swear, I believed it no matter what. He just told it to
Can
me.
you relate with people who don't have
Yes.
confidence in themselves?
Yeah, I
Can
didn't.
you?
I was 12, 13 years old. My dad's like, "You're the strongest." He grabbed me. He's like, "You're the strongest. You're the toughest. Don't let anybody ever tell you differently." I'm like, "Okay." Okay. He's like, "Go get the puck. Just go." I'm like, "Okay." He didn't know any details. He didn't know what to do. Like, use your stick. Here, take your stick and do this. No. Go get the fucking puck and be mean and be aggressive. I'm like, "Okay."
How do you think that pricing is? You think it's too high? $99.95?
Man, that's tough.
Oh,
I'll
live?
fucking hook people
Right
up.
before you go to the game.
I hook people up. No, if you want it, look, I gotta do the Cameo shit too. Now that I'm on
Yeah, but
Cameo,
do you want to have a good game or not? Do you want to be into the game? Do you want your energy to be where it needs to be?
listen to me. If you want me to fucking pump your kid up, I'll do it. I swear to God. I might use a little bit of language, but if you tell me not to do it, I could do that too.
12 and under, no cussing.
I could do
remember?
it. I could do that, and I'll pump them up. And then, you know what happens? They get pumped up, but then the parents are like, "Oh, wow, That's how you do it? Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. I've never played sports in my life, but my kid's a good athlete. I don't know how to like motivate them.
How does that happen,
Listen
by the
to
way?
Me. I don't know how to motivate my kids because I've never played. So I don't know what to say to them. So what do? So if you listen to me, let me do that for you.
Yeah.
And then you listen and then take control of that and do it in your own parent way because
Yes.
you know your kid.
Okay.
Do you get my drift?
How does that happen? Where I see it too, like coaching
what I'm
and whatever, where their kid's a stud, and the parents have no idea.
They're stupid.
They're so clueless.
Stupid people.
Because they never played sports. They obviously didn't
fuck.
excel in sports. That's amazing to me that a kid could come from parents like that, Cam.
My mom and dad were nothing. Nothing. Termite
I thought
treating.
you said your dad played softball or something.
Oh, okay. What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
He was a shit
What
kicker
the
in
fuck does that
softball.
mean? He's a shit kicking waterproofer. Then he had to sell his business, get a termite treating.
Wasn't an athlete?
Oh, fucking A. He was a
Well,
quarterback
there you
for.
go, dude.
Yeah, but he.
I'm talking to some of these parents, not athletes at all, dude.
But
not that they were hockey players. They weren't
No,
athletes at all.
my parents were athletes, okay? But they weren't athletic enough to know how the system worked and how to motivate your kid. Like, you think my dad's dad said, here's how you do it, son. Da-da. No. He's just like, fucking, I got my waterproofing business. Go fucking be an athlete. Like, you're a stud. I created you. Go do your shit.
I created you.
But now it's
He's
like,
responsible.
No, seriously. But now it's like, I could look at a kid and be like, here's what you need to do, man. Like, I know athletes. Like, I was an athlete. Like, I figured it out. Like, I know what athletes are. Be aggressive. Go after that fucking ball. Just like I told her.
Yes, you
to
did.
Your little cute daughter, who's the sweetest little cutest thing in the world. Go after that motherfucking ball. And if anybody gets your way, go right through them. Just go right through them. Be nice, but you are aggressive and get the fuck to that ball and go and initiate. And then things happen.
And if you fall down.
Then so what? Then get the fuck up. And if you know what to do with the ball,
That's what
then
he
figure
told
it
her.
out. No, then figure it out. Then kick it forward and go. And that's your ball and you go and no one else is around. That's what you do,
I'm
man.
watching her in the back seat.
God
She had
damn.
the biggest smile on
That's
her
what I
face,
do.
ear to ear. Just love this pump up speech. And you know what I'm having a hard time with, though? Like, my kid's starting to play sports. And, like, she's my oldest. She's 9. So my other two really
Cutie.
aren't there yet. Like,
No,
they just
they're
kind of
not.
listen to
They're
what
not
I'm
there,
saying and
yeah.
whatever. She said to me the other day, she said, "You're not my coach.
Oh, okay.
You're not
Well,
the
you're
coach."
Not. Well, you're not.
And I'm like,
I'm your fucking dad.
damn.
though.
I'm like, come on. Because I do
No,
tell her. I'm
I'm your
honest with
daddy,
her. I give
though.
her an honest assessment
I'm your
with how
daddy.
she played.
What your coach tell you? Okay, yeah, he's right on that. Never listen, all you fucking parents again. You motherfucker! I want to fucking. I kind of want to strangle a lot of you. Not most. Like just sit back on this one. Sometimes you have to listen to your coach and just let him talk about it and lay it out for the kids. And then you take what's going on, and if things are weird, then you take the kid aside and say, hey, try this a little different. But listen to your coach. If you overcoach your coach, you're fucking your kids over. Let it happen. And even if your coach is wrong, let your kid figure it out.
True story, though.
Let your kid figure
And
it
I
out.
swear that this guy sitting next to me, and when I was talking to you right before the game started, and I said, listen, we need to sell these pump-up speeches. I think we could sell these.
Yeah.
I think people should use them. For those parents out there who have kids, you need someone to pump up your kid because you can't do it. They don't want to listen to you. They tell you what they tell me, like you're not my coach.
Clean your room. And they're like, go get the ball.
I'm telling you, and like I got a mask on, and I had my AirPods in, so like I'm talking loud, but I don't know how loud I'm talking. I think I'm talking quiet. I hang up with you, and all of a sudden this man sitting in his chair next to me, like social distance. He had to be 12 feet away. And he's like, I'd buy that.
Oh, no
I'm like,
shit.
oh, you're listening. I go, no, I was talking to some. Hey, I know who you're talking to. He's like, I listen all the time. So it was kind of
Fucking
funny.
A
Like,
does.
so here he is. Like,
Was he a hot broad? No, it was an old man. Okay.
Man.
That's weird, though.
Man.
That's
Said he
weird.
played hockey at Hazelwood Central or something like that growing up or something. So anyway, so
No, I get
think
it,
we got a
dude.
business coming here, dude.
Well, then, let's go. I'm a motivational speaker, man.
Could you imagine being Ron Hextall's parents and watching him
Psycho.
just absolutely just be
But
an,
you were like,
be an animal?
you're a
Like,
goalie?
Let me ask you this, though. You watch the highlights of Ron Hextall. We'll never see anything like him again. I'm convinced at the goaltending position, we will never see a goalie like Ron Hextall again, who not only was good, but he'll like destroy you with his stick. He didn't care. Taking suspensions all the time and whatever. But a hell of a goalie, don't lose sight of that. And obviously he's smart. He knows the game.
Very
He's been a GM.
Yeah.
Now he's back working with the LA Kings. if you're a player, are you trying to get under his skin to get him off his game? Or are you a little weary of what's going to happen when you skate through the blue paint?
If I'm a player and I'm me, I'm going to whack that motherfucker right in the back of his fucking leg when no one looks. And he's going to whack me back, and I'm going to go, let's go. And know what's going to happen? I'm going to get a 5-minute major, and you're out of the game, homie. And then some other dipshit's going to come in and fucking serve for you, and then we're going to score 3 on him. Like, that's how it works. I don't give a fuck. What are you going to do to me? You're still a goalie. I'm fighting 40 times a year. You're fighting 3. So although you're tough as a goalie, I'm going to fuck you up.
All right, let me change the question. If he's your teammate, if he's your goalie,
oh God,
how much do you love that? Or do you tell him to chill out?
Remember where I told him, I go, why are you picking fights with people that hurt some guys on your team?
For the Philadelphia
Flyers? You got
Flyers?
fucking Dave Brown on your team.
And you play for the Flyers?
He's like, well, I had to stick up for my teammates. I go, no, you don't.
Hey,
you're the fucking goalie.
But he made it a point, though. He answers the question. He basically said, yeah, I did. And he understands where you're coming from.
But I'm saying,
like nobody else was doing it, so he had to do it.
Well, then what the fuck, then?
Hey, I know.
Why is our fucking number one goalie?
He's agreeing with you.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Like, he shouldn't have to do that.
And you got shit kickers on that team?
Mm-hmm.
Tone his ass down. Tone Hextall's ass down.
He's going right after Chelios.
Down and play. Because the big boys got it. Dave Brown's the fucking lefty. He's going to come in and shit kick.
The best one,
stay in the fucking net.
My favorite, though, is when Glenn Anderson barely touches him.
Oh, he loses.
Just taps him. And the next guy that skates by him, Kent Nilsson.
He don't give a fuck. I love
Ronnie.
It
wasn't Glenn Anderson.
Ronnie,
it was his teammate.
Ronnie's so cool. Like, we're like,
so cool.
Dude, you're such a psycho. And he's just like, okay, I know.
Yeah.
And we kept asking
But a
him.
smart psycho.
He's so smart, and he's so cool, and he's changed, just like I have a little bit. Like, I'm normal now, kind of. But like when you're crazy, like, you know when you're crazy. And when you know when you can't be crazy anymore, you know not to be crazy, man.
Yeah. Although Noodles, Jamie McLennan tells an unbelievable story. It's almost too good to be true, and I think it might be too good to be true because Ron Hextall says, I don't remember that ever happening.
I remember that, yeah. I'm like, fuck, Andy, what kind of question did you ask him?
It was what Jamie McLennan said.
Because he's like, I don't know.
And all of a sudden, Ron Hextall's like, I don't remember that ever happening.
Like, Jamie
but someone
said
else,
it on NHL Network.
Somebody else has told me that he said that
yeah.
story before, too. I think he said it on TSN.
Yeah, I know.
But, like, it's an amazing story about, like, you know, a waiter dropping, like, greasy chicken on his suit.
And you fucking sewered him.
And he told Jamie McLennan, who is the backup goaltender, hey, be ready to play tonight because I'm going to kill somebody. I'm getting kicked out of the game. And sure enough, he went after Peter Nedved, according to the story. And Ron Hextall's like, Peter Nedved? Why would I go after Peter Nedved?
That's so funny.
So, anyway.
He's such an awesome guy. So smart.
Yeah.
Intelligent. Just a witty guy that answered all of our questions and was, like, really real with us. I fucking love the guy. I posted something today, and all my buddies are like, oh, you got Ronnie fucking Hextall. I go, fuck yeah, we did. That motherfucker. Yeah. He's like, he's my favorite. I'm like, yeah, he is. Yeah. How can he not be?
You know what?
He's the toughest fuck ever.
And Philadelphia did him wrong by letting him go, okay? But all you got to do is look at that roster right now and all the best players.
Yeah.
Who was the GM when all those guys were drafted? So now they're realizing the fruits of his labor. I would have liked to see a Peter Laviolette and, you know, Ron Hextall tandem to see where they can take this franchise, man.
Those two big brains.
That's a good yin
Because
and
you
yang.
look. One more thing before we to our live reads. You look at Ronnie Hextall, and this is the kind of thing that Chaser talks about all the time too. Is like, you look at a psycho on the ice, and you're like, fuck, he's a fucking psycho. Then he retires, and you're like, this guy's fucking brilliant. Like, he's smart. Why was he psycho? Just because he has a fucking thing in his head, man. Like, that's what hockey players do.
Even guys like Twister,
like the guy,
they know what they're doing.
They're smart. Chaser, they're all smart. But they got that, fuck you, I'm a fucking nutbag. And I can't control it. But I can control it when I don't have to control it, kind of thing. I know, I'm confusing, but I love that, man. And he sits back and he's chill, he's cool, calm, and collected. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm a fucking nutbag. Yeah. But now I could be a GM. Let's go.
So, Flyer fans, if you're listening, man, we get into the situation which led to him getting fired and whatever. And
dude.
So he opens up, man. He really holds nothing back. Super honest in this interview with Ron Hextall, man.
Awesome guy.
Well, we didn't know what to expect.
I don't know. We don't know anything, Andy, when we fucking interview these guys.
But
they love it. It's
awesome
their therapy session for us.
Yes.
It's a therapy session.
Yes.
They love it. And we love it. Like, fucking bring it. Like, well, I'll be your therapist. You know, it doesn't even cost you any money. Talk to me. What have you done that I haven't done? Have you done painkiller? Like, what have you done? Like, I've done it. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about CarShield now.
damn.
CarShield.com. Hey, mention the promo code CAM. You'll save 10%. CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. A deductible may apply. But again, small fee. Don't pay a lot every month. You never know when something's going to go down in your car. Make sure you have that protection. Could be something bad that'll cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Not if you have the protection from CarShield. Again, CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. GadgetBuyback.com, man. You got a cracked screen, cracked phone.
Fucking loser.
I
have a cracked phone. I'm going to try to fucking wheel this girl. Hi, put your number in my phone. Oh, you have a cracked phone, you donkey dick. Oh, sorry about that. Let me go get that fixed at Gab's Lab.
Yeah, and they'll do it while you wait for the local store. 877-772-8880. Business owners, I've been telling you, Cam's been telling you for months. We keep telling you, don't hold your business back. You're doing it without even knowing. You don't even realize the potential your business has because you're using old shit.
Cheap ass fuck.
Turn your old computers, your old phones, turn them in, your old tablets, upgrade them, get something new. 877-772-8880, gadgetbuyback.com. You know, hockeytraining.com right now, they're giving you like tips on not only how to get better, but like what to do in certain situations.
Like get the fucking puck out of the zone.
Well, yeah, you can do that too. But
like, how about your speed?
What's the sign you're looking for when you say, I know this guy has been listening to us and he's using hockeytraining.com?
No, I'll tell you. It's a couple different things. How are you on the wall? How are you in a neutral zone? Are you kicking it wide? Are you sauce passing it wide? How are you when you get a play on the wall when somebody's like, up on you? Are you spinning off the guy and putting the puck in the right spot? Or are you just like, I'm a toe drag. I skate with dipshits, but now I'm skating with normal people and guys that played in the NHL, and I'm going to toe drag everybody like a fucking dick fuck. No, you're not invited ever again, you fucking moron. Your toe drag at center ice, it doesn't fucking work. Get the fucking puck out of the zone. Figure it out. Take your 3 steps and break away from people and make a goddamn play. You fucking toe dragging motherfucker.
And if you're injured,
hate you.
Listen, they've got something out right now.
God damn.
7 hockey injury hacks to recover faster. So if you want to recover, get back on the ice, spend less time off the ice.
Exactly, dude.
That's what you do.
Just get your speed up. Get your game down.
Is there anything they don't do?
Dude, look, I watch their videos, and there's like, get the puck on the wall, boom. Hey, first 3 steps, do the lunges, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's just little things that you could do just to get your speed right. Like, there's guys I skate with that aren't that good, but they could fucking break away from you in 2 seconds and then make a play. And all of a sudden, I'm like, fuck yeah, you're on my team. Like, I want you around it. But if you're slow and you're like, I'm toe dragging, guys, because I'm cool. Because cool people toe drag. No, they don't. You fucking idiot. Get the goddamn puck out of the zone. I don't care if you toe drag a guy in center ice and then you lose it a second later. It drives me nuts.
Don't ever move me to the great team again. Like
don't toe drag motherfuckers at center ice and lose it. Get the goddamn puck out of the zone and use your speed. Fuck me.
Well, hey, you got to learn how to get that acceleration.
No, I'm dead serious on that. You think I'm fucking joking? Everybody's like, Cam's so funny. Yeah. No. I'm dead fucking serious on this.
Okay, get that speed kit. Get that speed kit from hockeytraining.com too. Kevin and Dan, they hook it up. They know what they're doing. Unbelievable people.
Great people.
And we love what they're doing with hockeytraining.com. Oh, yeah. London's finest.
I love London.
Bud Light, Seltzer, the weekend. We got some more photos, got some more tweets, people hanging out. I'm getting like private messages.
I can't keep up with it.
Oh, my God. People
what do I
barbecuing.
Bud Light's fucking. I'm tagging Bud Light. They're fucking tagging us back. I think Bud Light, let's go, baby.
Mango, baby.
I'm getting all these cats on.
Mango.
I'm getting all these cats on. They fucking love the mango. I don't even think I like it. They just want me to say it. They might like the fucking cranberry or the black cherry or whatever.
I put a tweet out there with like the largest Bud Light seltzer can I've ever seen. Because you didn't know what sorcery means.
No, I don't.
And you're like, oh my God, that is sorcery.
No, I said that's. I don't
know if I knew what it meant.
Delicious sorcery. No, I played it cool.
I know you did.
Bud Light, I played that
25-ounce can though.
Hey, Bud Light, we're trying to like juggle all this shit. We got like a new campaign going out, like where people like help us with that too. We're juggling it. People are throwing us shit left and right. They love the product. They're on a golf course. I don't give a shit if they're just in a little shitty apartment and they're grilling. If that's your cool zone where you're just chilling, like I want to see it. Bud Light wants to see it. We want to see you guys chill, kick your feet up. You work your ass off all fucking week, man.
That's a good question for the listeners. Where's your cool zone?
Your cool zone. I don't give a fuck if you're in a trailer park. I grew up in shitty ass shit, man. I get it. Like, there's trailer parks by my house. Like, I know.
You claim you grew up in the woods. You had no woods by you.
The fuck you talking about? Are you serious?
Oh, God.
When we put it on Google Maps for you?
Google Maps.
Fuck on with me.
That's sorcery, dude.
No, I'm a fucking pretty boy from fucking where we're at right now, brother. But no, I grew up but like, find your comfort zone with your wife and your kids where you kick your feet up and you're looking up, you're like, whatever it is. I get it, man. I've been through it all. I get that. Show me it. I love it. And tag Bud Light, by the way.
Black cherry, strawberry, lemon, lime, and mango. Mango is in the original pack. They have the variety packs now, too.
What now?
Cranberry, grapefruit, pineapple. Did you try the pineapple?
Oh, my God.
Again?
Look, here's what we're going to do, by the way. We're going to make a drink. I need to
find
it might be fucking mango. It might be black cherry. I don't give a shit. We're going to find a drink. I'm going to collaborate with a couple different things. And we're going to pump this shit up. Yeah. I need to be on the lake. I need to have my cool zone first.
You got to be in the cool zone.
Let me fucking do it. Let me figure it out. And I'm going to tag Bud Light. We're going to do it right.
I might go back to the lake, actually, and take some more photos.
The pond.
At the lake.
The pond. Don't you dare disrespect Bud Light by being in a fucking pond.
Dude, this place is sick, by the way.
Actually, never mind. It doesn't matter where you're at. I don't care if there's a creek in your backyard.
Anywhere can be your cool zone,
I don't care if there's
a
puddle in your backyard in an apartment complex in downtown St. Louis. It doesn't matter. Show us. We love it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Although, if Andy goes to another pond again, I might smack him in his fucking face. Go ahead.
Bellman.
Yeah.
Bellman.com. Troy, Missouri.
We get chirped on that, too.
Oh, dude, we got, like, pink Jeep sent to us.
Why do they think it's my Jeep? It's yours.
No, you need the pink Jeep.
It's
Two
yours.
doors.
It's yours.
Small wheels. The pink Jeep that was sent to us had 4 doors and had 2 bigger wheels.
Oh, I'll take that then.
Yeah. It had, like, pink rims. What do you call those?
Look, Andy.
What do you call those?
If I drive
what do you call those? You don't even know.
Rims?
Like, they had rims, like pink little dots on them.
Motherfucker, I don't care. Here's the deal. If they want to give me that pink Jeep and I'm cruising around, I don't give a fuck. No one's going to chirp me. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have it, on the other hand, people might chirp you, so I have to be by you to stick up for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
That's what good people do.
Yeah, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
Yes.
One side of the street. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on the other side. So hook yourself up in time for the fall. There's a couple of weeks more of Jeep weather that are left.
Dude.
A couple weeks left.
Kick those fucking things off. Kick the diaries off. Have your family go down and go down and go find a
doorless, or would you keep the doors on?
Look, I have vertigo, so I might not go doorless because I feel like I'm falling out of everything. But if you're normal, unlike me, then take the doors off and bring your family and go down to Herman, Missouri.
Augusta.
Go to
That's
Augusta.
Where my lake was.
Go to a cute bar or a restaurant and take your family there and look over the water and then take your Jeep back and take a picture and send it to us. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what we want. Like, show us your happy times, guys, man. It fucking makes me feel good. It honestly does. I don't give a fuck if you're a trailer or not.
No, we love the
we love
the
it, dude.
We want to see the cool zone.
I love
Hashtag cool zone.
Cool zone,
Where's
baby.
Your cool zone?
Where's your cool zone? Where's your fucking chill zone, baby? Let's go. Is it cool zone or chill zone? Let's do chill zone.
Chill zone?
Let them decide.
One,
let
dude.
them
You
decide. Let they know more than we do. I didn't understand that for a long time. I got beaked on Twitter all day today, but I didn't understand the sorcery part because he didn't like circle the fucking 22-ounce part of that. So I'm like, what, motherfucker? And he's like, oh, this is like a 22-ounce.
We got some new business coming on board too, man, from Montreal. We got some stuff coming on from Montreal. We got some stuff to announce here very, very soon.
We're psychos.
Looking forward to that.
It's
all
ridiculous.
right, Ron Hextall.
Fucking man.
He'll not only windmill your ass with a glove save.
He'll fucking hack you in the back of the
head. Kick
head.
save and a beauty, and then he'll attack your best player.
Oh, and then he'll draft the first round pick that's going to be sick tough too. Like this
and then he'll evaluate and pick pick your best player off your junior team.
And he'll tell good stories. He's the fucking man. And he was good to me.
Somebody hire this guy as a GM.
He actually gave me a compliment. Big time.
Well, kind of from the rookie tournament. He didn't like you. That is a compliment.
I know.
Well, you must have been fighting.
I was crying when he said that, by the way.
Were you?
Is that nerdy of me?
Did you cry?
No, look, I was like kind of like when you get teary. I'll explain. When you get a little teary-eyed and you're so pumped up because some big guy tells you that he remembers you, I'm like, it makes me kind of cry a little bit.
You know what it is, man?
Fucking do something.
You know what it is? It's like you're doing something back then, and you're like, you know what? Hey, somebody noticed. Somebody noticed.
Besides Lou, yeah.
Somebody noticed,
Lou noticed,
including Ron Hextall, on episode number 76. on the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Yeah. Where you at?
I'm in North Dakota.
Oh.
So your son played there, right? And he lives there after he's done playing, or what's the connection there?
Yeah, he played for the Fighting Sioux there in Grand Forks and ended up met his wife there. So they ended up she's a doctor, but she did her residency in Iowa, and then they moved here after she was done. So this is where they live in Fargo.
See, that's how it works.
Fargo.
That's how it works. Your wife, she picks where you live, Hextall, as you know.
And she
you have no
Fargo.
say.
She picked Fargo.
And she picked Fargo.
Oh, Lord.
Even when they pick Fargo, you have no choice.
You do have a choice. How cold does it get up there? Oh, my gosh. Extremely cold.
Well, I grew up a little north of here, so I always tell him it's not that cold here. I grew up in Brandon, Manitoba there, so I'm like, you guys down there, it's warm down there in Fargo.
Brandon, Manitoba, though, what was life like that, or like for you in the Hextall household in Brandon, Manitoba? Were you always a goalie? And with all these relatives you had playing in the National Hockey League, how'd you guys end up settling there?
My mom and dad were brought up, my dad in Poplar Point and mom in Brandon there. So we just ended up, they obviously got married. Dad played for the Wheat Kings, and then they went on their way to pro hockey and ended up, we would go back there every off season. So Brandon was home, and it was a great place for me growing up and to play hockey. And, it was, it's a great city.
The travel must have been pretty tough. I think we did play a Brandon team one time playing AAA in one of these tournaments in the middle of nowhere there, and they had the biggest, toughest guys I've ever seen in my life. Like, did you guys have to travel all the time when you're young, or did you have the competition right there in Brandon?
Yeah, we traveled a lot of the small towns around, close to Brandon, Souris and Minnedosa, Neepawa, and so it was pretty close. But our biggest competition was when we got towards the end of the season and we played the AAA teams in Winnipeg, because we were only AA because Brandon wasn't big enough to have a AAA team. So we were only AA. So we played the AAA teams there towards the end of the year. I remember especially my midget year.
Listen, I should have used that as my excuse for not playing AAA.
Is that what it is, Andy?
You know that? We didn't have AAA. We weren't big enough to play AAA. That's what it was,
right.
Hexy.
So we did have AAA down here, Hexy, just so you know.
Hey, so your dad, your brother, your uncle, or your dad and your uncle, right? And your grandfather, all playing in the National Hockey League. So who did you attach yourself to the most? Was it your dad in terms of truly pushed you to becoming a great player in the NHL?
Yeah, no, it was my dad for sure. I mean, I grew up around a rink. I mean, he was playing in the NHL till I was, I think I was almost 12 when he retired. So I was around a rink, when I was a kid a lot. He'd take me to the practice on the weekends and things. So I saw a lot and kind of saw the lifestyle. So he's certainly the guy that I leaned on the most. But my father was more, you know what, you got to figure out what you want to do, and if you want to do it, go ahead and just do it well. And he didn't push me. He supported me and everything, but he certainly didn't push me, but sort of in the genes there that I wanted to be a hockey player when I was young. I mean, quite honestly, I'd sit in school and instead of listening to a teacher, I'd be drawing goalies. So it was something at a very young age. And I always tell the story. People go, how'd you become a goalie? Well, I don't really know, but my mom tells me when I was 2.5 years old, I used to throw a sock up the stairs and wait for it to come down and make a save on it. So how do you even explain how you wanted to be a goalie when, you were 2 or 3 years old and you were showing signs of it?
Yeah, but you add a little aggression.
I know. Were you beating the crap out of the kids at preschool too?
Why are you
That's
picking,
the first sign.
I'm thinking, I'm watching you play. I love watching you growing up. And I'm like, why is he a goalie? I wanted you to play forward or D so you could use that aggression and go hit guys. So didn't you think of that when you were a kid?
No, I didn't actually. I really didn't think about that. I probably should have, because I do think my personality was probably built more for, to play out and, be aggressive and competitive and battle on pucks. I mean, I love puck battle, but how many puck battles can you get in as a goalie, right?
Oh, you started a bunch of them.
No,
as many as you wanted, Hexie.
As many as you wanted, depending on the mood.
Oh, a different game back then.
Oh, I know. The highlights are incredible, man. Just going through your highlight package, I could sit there and watch it all day long. Do you go back and watch yourself, Hexie, and be like, oh, my God, I was an absolute
Please
psycho.
say yes.
Well, I don't, but people will remind you. I know even some of my players along the road, and when I was assistant manager in LA and managing the team in the American League and then in Philly there, some of my players would say, geez, we were watching you on YouTube. It's like, whoa, what's going on there? I'd be like, not really sure. It was a different game back then. That's what I keep saying. That's my story.
Yeah, no, I like that. And you're 100% right. It definitely was. But did you have a temper? Like, did you get in little skirmishes off the ice, like at school? Were you a kid, who just kind of had that competitive fire? Even if you're like in gym class, where if somebody crosses the line, they may get hit in the face with a pencil across the room or something.
You know what? I can honestly say that I didn't. On the ice, yes. Even when I was young. Off the ice, not really. I got to be honest. My brother got in a lot more fights than I did around Brandon there.
Oh yeah.
If you pull people in Brandon, they'd be saying, "No, the other Hextall, the one that used to get in all the fights." But on the ice, yeah, that was a thing. But off the ice, I mean, sports. I think sports are sports. I mean, if you're playing soccer against another school and someone tripped yours, it might be a little bit different, but certainly not in the school grounds or anywhere like that. But I think if you're competitive, you're typically competitive in sports, whether it's hockey or soccer or baseball, whatever. I mean, it's like competitiveness is competitiveness, right?
Yeah, you always want to win. No, I completely get that. But being a goalie, though, I mean, it's so mental. And like I'm watching you, and I could see the smoke coming out of your ears at times, and I'm like, I know you want to go out and play that puck, even though you shouldn't. So how did you balance that? And all of a sudden, you make a great save. So like most goalies, you know what I mean? Like, how did you balance that?
Well, sometimes I didn't balance it, but I don't know. There are times where you do ask yourself, like, why on earth did I? Especially my grandfather, my uncle, my dad. None of them were goalies, and why on earth, with your temperament, would you choose to be a goalie? I mean, you got Martin Brodeur, right? The absolute perfect makeup for a goalie. He's competitive, but he's cool and calm, right? That's exactly what you want. And then you got me, who wasn't really cool and calm, and I'm in the net. So I don't know. It's just the way it worked out. Like I said, from the time I was young, and there were times though I wish I could just skate up the ice and run someone or get run or do something.
But you know what, man? It doesn't take away from the fact that you were a great goaltender, too. Yep. I mean, just the way you came into the league, even how you finished your career. I mean, you had a great career. And I think people associate you with a lot of the after the whistle stuff and just going after guys, man. But, do you think that, covers up a little bit of how talented you were as a goaltender and the career you had?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess probably to some degree, some people think of me and think about the physical side of it versus the goaltending side of it, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with it. I'm typically in life, I do what I do, and I work as hard as I can and try to be the best you can be, and then you move on to your next career. When my playing career was over, it's like, okay, it's over now. Now what? So I don't spend a whole lot of time. You learn from history, but don't dwell on it. So I'm good with where everything ended. I feel very fortunate, quite frankly. I played 15 years pro, and I feel very fortunate to have been able to play that long and to play at that level.
Okay, so you want to be the best you can be. Everybody has to do their own thing. I had to go box and skate and work on your speed, this, that, and the other. What does that mean for you, though? Like, who did you look up to? Who did you try to emulate? And how were your workouts trying to be the best goalie you could possibly be?
Well, it's funny. Probably the best shape I was in, I trained with a boxer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, people you look at a boxer going 15 rounds and you go, how do you do it? And it's 3-minute rounds, and all of a sudden you get a minute or whatever, and then go back at it again, and you're getting hit in the ribs and everything else, and you got to tighten everything up. But so this summer I worked out with a boxer. Was probably, like I said, the best shape I'd ever been in, and probably the best I ever felt. So being in shape is being in shape, and things are a lot different now. Like, we didn't have the education back then that they have now, and specifically training. I mean, we weren't on the ice much. I didn't work at my game that much in the summer. I mean, there wasn't ice available, quite frankly, and so we would skate 2-3 weeks before training camp, and up until then we'd be just working out off ice, and a lot of it was just running and biking and stuff. But so the way the players are trained now is absolutely phenomenal, and the sport specific is terrific how they train themselves.
The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. Nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now back to the interview. Was it true? I think your first year a junior, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were playing in the SJHL, and your team gives up 105 shots.
Oh, my God.
And you guys give up 21 goals, but they're raving about your performance, that you were incredible. Did you stay in the game the whole time?
I did. You did some digging before.
No, he knows more about you than you know you. Trust me. Trust me.
All right. So Melville, Saskatchewan. I was 16 years old. It was we were not good. We were a bad hockey team. And it's funny, though, when I reflect back on development and stuff, and critical years and parts of my development as a child. I mean, really, my 16-year-old year getting pelted every night was one of the things I look back at and see the most growth in my game. And that game you're referring to is in Prince Albert. I'll never forget it. I think I let in 3 goals in the first, 6 in the second, and 12 in the third. I think I was named, I don't know if it was first star or our star of the game or whatever, but yeah, it was 105 or whatever it was. I don't even remember how many shots we had, but our shots were basically dump out of the zone and they'd hit the net. So it was a long night. I remember the coach after the game, somebody said, "Why didn't you put the other goalie in when Ron was getting so tired?" He said, "Because I was afraid what the score was going to be."
Jesus.
It's going to be much. I think it was 21-3. I don't know how we scored 3 goals, but yeah, that was one of those.
You
nights.
probably scored one of them too.
Yeah, you did.
You probably scored too.
He got the Gordie Howe that night.
I'm still mad at. I think Dave Tippett was on that team and James Patrick. So I'm still a little sour at those guys for running the score up on us.
Why are they so good? What was that? The Edmonton Oilers? Like who were you playing? Why were they killing you so bad?
Well, we were the worst team in the league, and they were the best. The Prince Albert Raiders. They were good, and it was a lot. Second last game of the year. We played PA that game, and we played in Humboldt the next night. But second last game of the year, we had like 10 wins or something, and guys were quitting. And we had, I don't know how many skaters we had that night, but not very many. We probably had 10 skaters. So it was a long night. You should have a long bus ride back to Melville.
I bet
20 hours.
Yeah, in a snowstorm. Yeah. You should have snapped that game. I mean, I don't know how you kept it together game.
I didn't have the energy. I was probably about 170 pounds, and by the end of the game, I was probably about 150. So I remember guys helped me after the game get my equipment off.
Oh, good Lord.
So, hey, when you would snap, though, during a game, like, is that uncontrollable anger, or are you in control? You know exactly what you're doing, and was sometimes, was it out of anger at all times, or was it to stand up for your teammates or to send a message? What was your intention some of the times?
Every situation's different, right? But the Chris Chelios one, people like to remember that one. Well, he ran Brian Propp. I forget what game it was, early in the series. Yeah. And, it was my last chance to get him, and we hadn't got him yet. And it's like, you know what? It's something's got to be done. So there was a trigger went off there when I think the frustration of losing, and then remember what happened and everything. So bang, then it's your last chance. So you.
Yeah, but you're a goalie though, Hex. Why are you doing that? Wasn't Brownie on your team? Didn't you have Dave Brown? Didn't you have a bunch of killers on that team, and you got to set the tone?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly.
Come on.
Well, yeah.
Was Mellon be on that team, Andy?
Well, I don't know.
I think was Scotty Mellon.
I don't know if Mel was on that roster or not.
Mel was.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
we had a pretty tough team actually.
Hey, but you did have to you set the tone. There's no question. And I guess you did have to do it if, he takes out your teammate and it's the goaltender who runs Chris Chelios. Yeah, but that is a legendary moment. I mean, you look back on that. That's got to feel a little bit good, actually, the fact that you're coming to defense of your teammate and
it is
and
cool.
You got Chris Chelios there. I mean, that's
we had him on the pod the other day. We talked about it.
That's not the worst thing in the world there, Hexy.
Well, it's funny. I was in Detroit one night when I was managing the Flyers there, and in the press box there, Chili's working for Detroit, and he's got to walk, by me and into there where they sit. So Chili walks by me, and we look at each other. Hey, Chili, hey, Hex, how you doing? We shake hands. We stand there and talk for like 15 minutes, and I guess they had us on. I don't know if they had us on camera, video, whatever, and people couldn't believe that we actually were talking. I don't know what they wanted us to do, like we're in our 50s and you want us to throw Dukes right in the press box there. I mean, 30 years later or whatever, but it was pretty funny. But I will say this about Chris Chelios. Like, Chili is one of those guys. I hated him when I played against him, but I also deep down knew that, man, if we could ever get him, he'd be a great addition to our team. Like, he's one of those guys that you'd love to play with, right? He was competitive as hell, and he'd do whatever he had to do to win. And you know what? I take my hat off, and I got a lot of respect for the guy, even though I took a little run at him.
Yeah, it's usually the case, though, with all the hockey guys. And we do all these fantasy camps, and guys come in, guys that, you hit, you fight, you go to war with, and everybody's usually pretty cool about it. But you went through some hardcore stuff. I mean, even in juniors, like, does anybody not like you? Like, I'll give you an example. Like, you kind of tomahawk somebody in juniors pretty hardcore. I mean, I'm watching all these things this morning. I mean, actually, but again, it's a different time. But does anybody look back and say, no, I don't like you, and I don't want to do business with you, and I'm not going to look you in your eyes, or whatever the case is?
No, I think once you're like, in our day, the Players Association wasn't so big. We didn't talk as much, and we didn't really know the other team as well. So, like, the hatred was, I mean, it was a hatred. Like, us and the Rangers and us in Montreal, and we played Washington a couple of years, and like, we hated those guys, and we didn't really meet those guys. But it's almost like when you hang your skates up, it's like you switch to that next phase of life, and all of a sudden those guys you hated, that you respected when you play against, but you hated them, all of a sudden now you see them, and it's almost like your old buddies.
Yeah. So
there is something that happens, once you retire, that switch goes off, I guess, where you're not playing against this guy anymore, and he's not trying to beat us anymore. And again, the guys that played the hardest are typically the guys you have the most respect for. I remember you, Cam, with Jersey there. I was working in Philly, director of pro personnel or something, and we were playing rookie games against you guys, and you were throwing the gloves off against a couple of our guys, and I got to say that I wasn't real happy with you.
I love that. I love to hear that, man.
Oh, yeah.
I take honor in that.
You should. That's a compliment right there.
Thank you. My head's gonna get big now.
Hey, what's this?
And if I would have been in the net there, I probably would have took a whack at you too.
Oh yeah, and I would have gone down in a heap of pain.
That would have been classic. That would have been classic.
Thank you for that.
Hey, what's the story? What's the story when you were in St. Louis? Jamie McLennan tells the story about how you got I think Ray Ferraro was out to dinner with you as well, a couple other guys, and the waiter drops chicken on your fancy suit.
First of all,
what happened there?
Let me just interrupt you right
there.
Yeah. I heard about it's in Noodle's book, right?
Yeah.
And Noodles I love the guy. He's an honest guy as there is. But I got to tell you, Ray shot me a text, and he said, "You remember the time in da-da-da-da-da?" And I'm like, what? I said, no. I said, first of all, I never had a fancy suit. Maybe my later years and stuff, but I never had a fancy suit. I have absolutely zero recollection of that. Neither does Ray.
Okay, well, here's what he says.
I don't know. I'm not saying someone didn't drop a piece of chicken on me, maybe, but I don't think I would have reacted like that. Maybe at 7:00 game time, but not in the afternoon. I think it was a pregame meal, wasn't it?
Yeah, pregame, and it wasn't just chicken. It was a greasy piece of chicken.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
So now here's how the story goes. You looked at Jamie McLennan, who was a backup, and you said, "You better be ready to play tonight because I'm going to go kill somebody."
Oh.
And sure enough, the Blues are up 3-0 in the game. And you go after Peter Nedved. I can't find this video of you going after Peter Nedved. What happened that led to you going after him, if you remember?
I don't remember. I don't remember ever going after Peter Nedved. He's not one of those guys on my list that I'd go after, but I'm not saying I didn't. I have absolutely no idea.
Wow.
Maybe he scored on me or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
He was a good player. He was a good player.
He was a good player, played a long time. Very good player.
Black Tukes, I remember that.
Hey, let's talk about the new Bud Light Seltzer.
Oh, yeah.
It's an easy drinking hard seltzer that comes in 4 delicious fruit flavors. Black cherry, strawberry, lemon lime, and Cam's favorite, mango.
Oh,
With
mango.
only 100 calories, 5% alcohol, and less than a gram of sugar, you might as well have a few tonight or this weekend. Go to BudLight.com to buy Bud Light Seltzer online. Must be 21 years of age or older. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Yeah.
Now, back to the interview. Who taught you how to play the puck? And did you see anybody doing that at the time that you were like, wow, I want to be like that guy?
That's an interesting question because I do remember being at practice one day in Pittsburgh and Jimmy Rutherford shot the puck at the boards and he raised it like a foot. So I'm looking, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I don't know how old I was, maybe 7 or 8. I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. That's my only real recollection of a goalie moving the puck. Now, in saying that, I was the kid who, after school, I was out in the street by myself shooting the ball on the net, tennis ball, stick, net, for 3-4 hours. Playing road hockey every night, every weekend. In Brandon there, I was on the community center rink with, players' gloves and a stick. So I think I just developed, you develop your skill the more you have a puck. And I think I just had a puck and a ball all those years because I just played. And, a lot of times you're by yourself. So I think it's just a skill that I developed. And then, probably with my attitude, I'm guessing some games were boring and I had a little energy. So you go out and get the puck and start moving it. It just sort of evolved. I didn't really look at one guy and say, oh, this guy moves a puck a lot because they didn't back then. So not really sure exactly, but it just sort of evolved over time.
How did coaches adjust to it? Because you hear all the time, coaches always telling goalie, hey, stay in the net. But did they let you be yourself and obviously benefit the team with your puck handling ability?
For the most part, yes. I did have one coach in junior who told me, I was already drafted, and he said to me, you won't play in the NHL if you keep moving the puck. And I'm like, oh, nobody's ever said that to me. Everybody's always kind of liked it. And it kind of hit me. And then all of a sudden, I turned pro when they wanted me to move the puck. And Mike Keenan was the biggest proponent of me moving the puck. So it worked well in Philly there. I mean, we used it a lot on our penalty kill. And so, but the one coach in junior was the only one who ever had an issue with it.
You bring up Mike Keenan. We've had him on the pod, actually.
We have.
It was like the most intimidating thing. You're very intimidating, by the way, and I'm not used to doing this, and he's a journalist. When we had Mike on, I had like 2 questions.
He was so nervous.
I didn't know what to say to him.
He's looking at me. He's like, I don't know what to ask him. I don't know what to say.
I don't want to piss him off.
He was terrified.
It's like, I don't want to piss you off. How was he?
I am not an animal. Okay.
Although, hey, listen,
Are you an animal?
I did interview you one time, Hexie, at the draft after you traded Braden Shen. And I told my camera guy, I said, listen, we're going to go talk to Ron Hextall. He's the GM there in Philly. And it was a little unsettling.
You were scared, weren't you?
I didn't know how you were.
He told me that today.
And nobody scares me, Hexie.
And were you surprised after that I didn't grab you or something? Probably.
You were so nice, man. You couldn't believe how nice you were.
So how was Iron Mike Keenan, somewhat early years. I'm not early years, but he was still pretty hardcore. And I mean, he still needed to do what he needed to do as far as winning the Stanley Cup. And so how was he with you guys and especially your personality?
Yeah, he was, I mean, he was terrific with me. I was a goalie. You remember Mike, like he's got the big reputation for pulling goalies. Well, he didn't pull me very much. And if he did, I remember he pulled me in New York one night. Chico Resch was our backup. God love Chico Resch.
Yeah.
He was 38 years old at the time. So we're in New York. Mike pulls me, comes down to me, and he says, "I'm pulling you because these guys don't deserve to play in front of you tonight." I'm kind of like, so he finds ways to make the goalie feel good about himself. And then all of a sudden, we scored a couple goals and got back in the game, and he walks down. He says, "Get back in there."
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Here we go.
Hey.
But Mike was good. I mean, he was a hard-nosed coach. Probably couldn't coach like that. Let me say, you couldn't coach like that nowadays. The world is different. But he was a very good motivator. He didn't take second place. Like, he wanted to win every single game, and I think that kind of filtered right through the organization. And you look at the years he had in Philly. I mean, he had some big years there, and very good teams. But I think he got everything out of everybody. A lot of guys that you talk to that played for him didn't like him. But a lot of those guys too now will say he made me a better player. So, Mike is probably one of those coaches where he can coach somewhere or could coach somewhere for 3 or 4 years and then kind of had to get a new group of players because it was a little grinding at times for sure, but that's why we had the success we had.
I don't know, Ron. You may have been the only player he was scared of. You never know. He may have said, he's like, I'm not messing with this guy.
Unless Big Dave Brown was there.
Leave him in the net. Leave him. Hey, but
we had Brownie, we had Taka, we had Daryl Stanley, we had Eddie Hospodar. We had a good group there. So
bad to the bone.
Hey, the pregame brawl. Go ahead.
Have you ever heard the story about Mike in Lake Placid?
Tell us.
Go ahead.
We're in Lake Placid. We had a tough start to the year, and Mike decides he's going to put the gear on.
The goalie gear. Wow.
No, the player gear.
Oh, okay.
So give him credit. He walks in and he says, "Boys, anybody takes a run at me, go ahead. Now's your time." He's got his gear on. Lindsey Carson takes a run at him.
Really?
Holy smokes. Yep, Lindsey Carson.
And he got him?
Oh, yeah, he got him.
So what happened?
Big. That was it. Mike got up and played on, and it was like he didn't say a word.
Good for him.
But it was Mike was courageous, like a lot of his decisions. I mean, my first NHL game, so Bob Froese was Vezina Trophy runner-up the year before. I come up as a rookie in training camp, had a pretty good training camp, and he puts me in the net opening night against Edmonton in Philly. Like, that's a pretty gutsy decision when you have a guy who's runner-up for the Vezina, and maybe you play Froese the first game and then play me the second game. But Mike, no, you're playing. I'm like, whoa. So he made decisions. He didn't worry about what people said or thought. He just made the decisions he thought were right. And
it was the right decision too, because you won 2-1. So,
well,
correct.
Isn't that weird though? And I'm sure you learned a lot from that though. Like, just little things like that. Like, your coach is really hard on you. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put my shit on. And if you hit me, you hit me. And I'm not going to bitch about it. And I'm not going to two-hand you. Like, just little things like that. He played you. I don't know. Like, did you take that and kind of absorb it and be like, you know what? I could do this kind of thing?
Well, I think everybody sort of looked at when he put the gear on and stuff, and you kind of got, he's got some kahunas to do that, right? Like, that's, a lot of the players don't like you, but you're going to put the gear on and come out and, expose yourself and, credit. I mean, it was a gutsy move for sure.
Take a hit.
What happened with the pregame brawl though in Montreal? Because Chico Resch, he came out with one other player, trying to remember exactly who it was before it just got completely out of control. It might have been Claude Lemieux. I don't know who, if on the other side.
Shane Corson was out there.
But I don't remember seeing you.
Corson, Lemieux is Eddie Hospodar and Chico. And that's what I said to Chico after that. I said, I don't know why they always talk about me being a goalie with a hot temper and a goonga. You're starting brawls out there. Like, what the? They got the wrong Philly goalie.
Cam and Strick Podcast here for our boy Dan Bellman with Bellman.com.
Yeah, baby.
You need some new wheels? Why not get a Cadillac, a Buick, a GMC? Head out to Troy today. And again, don't forget about Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram right across the street.
No doubt.
Right there in Troy, Missouri. Visit them online. Check out their new selection, the pre-owned selection, the best service you will find anywhere in the country. Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
Now back to the interview. Yeah, and that was a real brawl too. An amazing, amazing brawl. People should check out that video, man. If you've never seen that video, go watch it right now. But did Keenan keep you from going out there, or did you make your way out there? Because I didn't see you in the video.
No, he kept me from going out. So what happened was actually I was just on a thing, Flyer alumni thing the other night, and Mike was on the call, and we kind of touched on that. His memory, I thought it would be better. It wasn't actually, mine was better. But so when I go in after warm-up, I'd always undo my pads and undo my skates just to tighten them one more time before the game.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and I got my skates undone and my pads undone. And somebody comes out and says, Eddie and Chico are fighting. Like, oh, boy. Okay, so here we go. Everybody goes out. Doug Crossman goes out in flip-flops. Brownie goes out with no shirt on. And I got to get my skates and my pads on. So I literally got my skates done up, my pads done up, and I literally just stood up to go out the door. And guess who walks in? Mike.
Iron Mike.
Yeah. He shuts the door. He goes, and he kind of puts himself against the door. And he goes, you can't go out. I said, Mike, I'll just go out. I'll just go out and hold someone. I promise you, right? And this is pretty heated. Like, I'm pretty amped up because what I can hear the fans. So all of a sudden you hear the big roar in the crowd, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm in here, and one of my guys is out there, one of my teammates is out there getting friggin' fed because you got two guys on him, and I'm sitting in here. So then 10 seconds will go by, and the crowd will go crazy again, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get up. So anyway, so I promised Mike that I would go out there and just hold somebody, and he's like, no, you can't go out there. Someone will sucker punch you. So anyway, long story short, like he stayed there, and then I forget exactly, but he made me promise that I wouldn't go out. So I went and watched it in the video room, and it was so the brawl's over. I'm sitting in my stall, and I'm the first stall. The goalie was in Montreal. The goalie was the first stall going into the room. So Chico Resch comes in, and he walks by me, and he looks at me, and he goes, "What happened to you?" And I'm like, nothing. Like, so the emotional toll that it took out of me, thinking that my teammates are out there getting fed and I'm in the room, like you should be out there. Your team's out there fighting. Like, you need to get out there, right? And so he could actually see it in my face, which was
Wow.
weird. But that was a tough one.
Yeah, because Patty Waugh was out there.
No, well, here's the thing.
You could have gone and grabbed Patty.
And there's always a guy missing. Now they have an extra guy out there, and that's what he's talking about, the double team. But when you're held back, you know the hockey dreams you had when you're a kid, when you lose your skate or something, you can't get on the ice? Like that's how I envision that. You see your buddies out there, and it's like a hockey dream that you just can't get on the ice because you're missing your damn skate or something.
Yeah. No,
horrible.
Honestly, it was like terrible.
And then Dave Brown goes out there, and and the best thing about that is when you don't have a jersey on or shoulder pads, no one could grab you. Who did he grab? Nyland? He grabbed Nyland.
It was Nyland. That was the ultimate, right, for a fighter to have have nothing on, just skin, nothing to grab.
That's a good dream. That's one of our good dreams. You had the bad dream. Dave Brown had the good one.
Hey, but you know
which is pretty scary that's the good dream, man. Man, what a job that is.
You know what I liked about you, though,
thanks.
is, listen, the slash that you had on Kent Nielsen, because it was Glenn Anderson who kind of tapped you. Let's be honest, it wasn't a big time slash. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not the one playing there in goal, but you didn't care. You didn't wait for Anderson to come back through. You said the next guy I see is going to get it in the back of the leg, and sure enough, how many games did you get for that one? Do you remember?
Well, what I do remember is when Anderson hit me, I thought I just about broke my arm.
Wow! Oh, really?
It was hard, huh?
No, it was a tap.
Oh, okay.
Here's what
I was gonna say.
Here's what happened there. So we're in the final. So I'd been 2 months of the playoffs, and people laugh when I say this, but it is true. So I got abused pretty good. I know people don't see it because they just see what I did, but I get abused pretty good in those 2 months because, things were going good and whatever. And okay, let's do what we can to get this goalie off his game and whatever. So I get abused pretty good. And then all of a sudden, we were losing. I think it was game 5, if I'm not mistaken. And we're losing and I'm frustrated and I get hit. And it's sort of like 2 months of, guys slashing you behind the legs and punching you and whatever, just sort of kind of came to a crescent. and I kind of lost my composure for a second. And thank God, I always say thank God it wasn't 99 because the first blue jersey was going to get it.
Oh my God. Could
you
imagine?
Thank God it was Nelson and not 99 because I'd have probably been in even more trouble.
Billy Smith did that. What did he get for that? Remember that?
Well, that was even before my day.
Did you look up to him? Did you look up to Billy Smith when he was playing? Did you when you were younger?
What? I didn't look up to him, but I admired, like, he's a winner, right? So I admired the fact that he was a winner, but I always kind of hoped he lost.
Oh yeah. You know what?
They were winning their cups there.
I know.
It's interesting what you just said because I was going to ask you that. Like, I mean, I would imagine guys were bumping you and running you all the time, just trying to get you to snap and get off your game. That that had to be a strategy for a lot of teams.
100%. 100%. With Washington, the Rangers, like the playoffs, you know how it is, 7-game series, and goalie's hot the first couple games. Okay, well, we gotta get in front of him. We gotta get his eyes, but this guy will also snap. So let's if we can be physical on him. I mean, Keith Jones used to fall on me all the time. It's like
really
teammate of mine a few years later, but the old sorry Hex, I didn't mean that. Right.
Is that gutless? Yeah. Is that gutless to you?
Probably for Jonesy, it was smart, in terms of trying to get me off my game or hurt me or whatever. Do you mean the talking? Is that what you mean after?
No. I mean, like, falling on you, kind of what happened to Grant Fuhrer.
Injure in a way.
Like, trying to injure you. You know how it is. Because if
Kyprios did it to
Fuhrer. He fell on his knee or whatever the case is. Like, is that gutless?
I don't know if it's gutless. I know this. How about I say this? So when I started, we had the metal pegs in.
Yeah.
Right, in the net. And guys didn't come, guys cut in the wing and they come across and basically go right through the crease or the net or the goalie. They didn't do it back then when those pegs were in. Now when they got the marsh pegs, the ones that come out, now everybody's, you had huge kahunas if back in those days you were coming hard to the net because the net wasn't moving. So I don't know if I'd say it's gutless, but part of the game, you don't like to see guys get hurt, obviously, but to try to frustrate a guy, which is what a lot of guys were doing. I mean, Keith Acton was one of the worst too. Another one of my teammates a few years later, he would drive me crazy too, which the list was long, but
you got the paddle to hit him. Well, was there any guy? I know you had a couple of big boys in your team, but anybody that did cruise through that crease, so you're like, you know what? I might not give him that whack in the back of the fucking leg, like Proby or something. Like, anybody kind of scare you a little bit?
Well, they all did. Are you kidding me? Like, I wasn't tough. I mean, I tried to play hard, but it's funny with Proby because he was such a great net front presence, and quite frankly, our defenseman couldn't move him. So what do you do? Like, I try and look around him, whatever. He's too big to look around, and our D-man can't move him because he's too big, and they're probably a little bit nervous of him. And so, at some point you got to do something to him. So I give Proby a little tap there, and Proby would just turn right around and come after me, and then our defenseman would be. I remember Kerry Huffman, who's a friend of mine, and he's coaching up in Lehigh Valley. They're assistant coach now, and he jumped on his back. And after the game, we laugh about it to this day. Like, Hex, like, you might want to try to pick a better guy. So when you say that, I didn't want to, piss Proby off because I didn't want one of my defensemen to get fed, right? So it's like, I was good if he come back at me. I had a mask on. What are you going to do to a goalie, right? It's like, okay, if he rips it off, whatever. But you don't want to expose one of your defensemen or get them in a fight. I mean, guys, you'd be off their Christmas card list in a hurry if they got to fight Bob Probert for you, right? So you try to do things to get them out of the way, but not get one of your defensemen hurt.
Would any of your teammates ever tell you, or coaches, like, knock it off, like, quit the shit, like, don't create anything crazy, no melees, just stay in the net and play goal? Did that happen or no?
No, I don't remember it ever happening. I'm sure guys probably thought it at times, because, you know, sometimes when a game was over, I didn't, you know, you're losing 4-2 or 5-2 late, and the game's essentially over, and you know, I don't know. I probably was a little bit of a sore loser, so I'm sure there were times where guys probably were like, okay, let's just get the hell out of here, and it didn't always end up like that. But no, I don't think anybody ever said anything to me.
One more fighting question, then we're going to get into after your career. But a couple of these times, and again, the highlights are just unbelievably incredible, and I can't wait to post these tomorrow when we pump you up when we release this. But you had a couple great scraps. But one guy kind of surprised you, I'm sure, and me when I was Felix Potvin. You go 100 miles an hour. You're ripping your shit off. I see the smoke coming out of your ears. I get the feeling. I know how that is. And you guys traded punches. Were you expecting him to go toe-to-toe down the pipe?
I had no idea. I told my teammates after the game, I said, boys, I just skated 200 feet, man. I was tired. Are you kidding me? Goalies don't skate 200 feet. But you know what happened there? So it was, I think it was the end of the game, and he slashed Danny Lacroix in the ankle. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, there's sort of a code between goalies where if you did something, the other guy, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, because I'm your guy. So if you do something, and yeah, he slashed Danny Lacroix in the ankle. I'm like, you can't. And it was just reaction. Away I went.
Wow.
And I don't know if I was surprised. I mean, you never, I don't know how you were, Cam, but I never took anybody for granted because I wasn't tough. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. And of course, he scratched me with a claw there, and he got a little nick on my eyebrow there. So I had to skate by the Toronto bench there.
That's why they call him the cat.
He scratched you?
He scratched you like a cat.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that's my story anyway. So he scratched me with one of his claws, and he just, in my eyebrow, he just opened me up a little bit. So
well, here's the difference.
Then I had to skate by the Toronto bench, and Ty Domi been trying to get me for 15 years, God. So he let me have it verbally anyway.
Oh, of course he is.
Andy Strickland and Cam Jansen here for you for GadgetBuyback.com. Yeah. Gadget Lab, they got a store here locally if you're in St. Louis, 5541 Telegraph Road. Here's the deal. You got an old phone, maybe a cracked tablet. Maybe it's perfect, but it's a little bit older. Turn it in right now. www.GadgetBuyback.com. Upgrade your devices, phones, computers, watches.
Anything.
Doesn't have to be Apple either.
No.
Get those tablets turned in. Again, www.gadgetbuyback.com, 877-772-8880. Now back to the interview.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? Like, for me, no, I didn't take anybody for granted. I'm 5'11". I had to fight monsters, but I could look him up on YouTube. You can't look him up on YouTube and see if he's throwing down the pipe like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, true. He's trading with me. Like, okay. Like, he's intimidated off the bat, but he did pretty good there. It was a great scrap, man. Love it.
Hey, Chevier was intimidated. He didn't scratch you. I can tell you that. Alain Chevier, when you fought him, I don't think he got a scratch on you there.
Yeah, his funny thing was I go in the room after that, and Chico Resch had actually played the game. I think it was at the end of the game. So he had actually played the game, and I go sit in my stall, and he goes, "What were you doing?" I said, I don't know. I mean, the game was over, whatever. We got to, the guys want to fight, you fight. He's like, "You didn't even play." I said, "Well, I know that. So what? I was on the ice, wasn't I?"
I'm bored.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I don't know why that happened, but
I love it.
Listen, I think you had more goals in your career than Cam did, which is
get
just
out of here,
amazing.
Andy, you son of a bitch.
It's amazing.
Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at that.
Come on. You definitely had a better shot than Cam, I'll tell you that.
You did.
The
accuracy part.
But, how big did your eyes get as a goaltender who knew you could do it, right?
Man.
You could get it over the top, get it all the way down the ice and be able to score. And nowadays it seems like every team has a goalie who can do it. But back then, every goalie probably couldn't. And you get that opportunity. Like, how much did you think about that? How often did you dream about scoring in the NHL? And did you ever do that as a kid?
No, I didn't do it as a kid. Quite honestly, our sticks were so heavy as a kid. You get the heaviest stick out there, so it would last you for a month or two. So, but to be honest with you, my teammates were on me big time to score a goal. And, whenever we had an empty net, they're like, actually, you got to shoot. And I'm like, no, if we get up 2 goals or something or shorthand or whatever, yeah, so be it. And then the media started getting, and the fans in Philly actually started kind of, when I'd have the puck empty net, they'd be yelling, shoot. But I was waiting for the right opportunity, and it wasn't high in my list of priorities, to be honest with you. If it happened, great. But so the night it happened was Boston, and they dumped it in. I think we were up by 2 goals. And fortunately, I got it up and over everybody's head and down the ice. And our whole team jumped on the ice.
I know.
And we got a 2-minute minor for delay a game, which I thought was a little bit insensitive. We got a 2-minute minor for delay a game. But the way my teammates reacted to it, it was it made it so special for me because they were so excited. And then, the organization, got everybody a plaque and with the game sheet on it and stuff. So it ended up being really cool, mainly because, individual things when you're playing for a team, they're fine and all that, but they don't mean that much. But the team things that happen, and this felt more like a team thing because of the reaction from my teammates. So it made it very special for me.
I know. I asked Scott Mellenby about that today. He was like, listen, he'll tell you I was screaming louder than he was.
He was.
In the pile.
He was. I remember Mel and Rick talking. And when you got all those guys in there, you're kind of you don't really know. But for some reason, I remember Mel and Talk just being boisterous. But it was really cool. Like I said, the reaction of my teammates was special.
All right, so you're in LA. You win, one of their other 2 cups, the first one. And by the way, we just had Jarrett Stoll on. By the way, we're going to release that here in the next week or so. He was great. He was fun. He had a lot of fun, no question, during his career. But you did as well, and you transitioned to management. It seems like it was a seamless transition. Even before you became GM of Philly, everyone knew you were eventually going to become a general manager. What was it that was attracted to you to want to get in on the executive side?
Well, I always, when I was playing, I always wanted to stay in the game. It's I'm just sort of a hockey nerd, and that's what I love. It's been, I got 2 things. I got hockey and I got my family, and that's two of the things that I love the most in life. And family first. So I knew that I was going to try to stay in hockey. And then when I ended up being done, I got at the end of my career, I knew I was done with Philly. And then Calgary called me in the summer, and I was talking to them every day for a month. And I'm like, I didn't know if I had it in me, but the competitor in me, I still wanted to play. And anyway, we went back and forth for a month. I think it was Coatsy there and Brian Sutter I was talking to. And so one day, Coatsy called me and he said, we just made a trade. And they had a contract on the table for me. It was a 2-year contract. And they made a trade, and then he just said, they traded for Grant Fuhr, actually. And he said, so anyway. So I hesitated. I started working out 2-a-days and everything, but in the back of my mind, I knew that it was over. My body, my hips, everything, I was done. Oh, yeah. But when they call and you're like, oh, geez, I can play another year or 2. And it's anyway, making a short story long. So then when I decided to retire, then Bob Clark, he called me in and he said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to coach? And I said, well, I've always kind of been more interested in managing. And I started pro scouting. that year with Philly and spent 7 years there before I went out to LA as assistant.
Yeah. So then you get the job in Philly. Like, first off, being a GM, like, because I think you'll get another chance if you want another chance to become a GM in the NHL. Like, what surprised you about the job? How difficult of a job is it? What's the day-to-day like, Hexie?
I guess the most difficult thing is it doesn't stop. So it's 11 o'clock at night and you get a call. It's like, oh my God. So it is around the clock, and even if you're not working, you're always thinking about it. So I mean, my personality is to be all in. And I was all in, and it's a grind sometimes. And the way it is now, the off season, you have off season, then you have the draft, and then you have free agency, and then you have development camp. So there's not much of an off season, a little bit in August. So it is a grind, and it grinds you down. But I think the burden that you feel of when your team's not having success, I mean, you're pretty much in charge of the hockey ops, right? So you do feel the burden of trying to get your team going, whether you make a trade or do something, whatever you have to do. So it's relentless, but there's something about that when you love the game that you love. So that's probably the thing that surprised me is, trying to shut your mind off, and it can be difficult at times for sure.
All right. So where was the disconnect between you and upper management or ownership or whatever when you're in Philly? Because, listen, everyone comes in with a plan in mind, and now we're seeing it with Philadelphia. You look at all these players that they have up and down their roster, from Konechny to Provorov, Carter Hart. I mean, all these guys that you were responsible for drafting. Why couldn't you guys be on the same page with what your vision was long term?
I don't have a short answer for you. I can kind of try and piece a couple things together here. When I took over, like, Philly has always had the attitude and the culture of we're going to do everything to win today. And that's why they were successful for, 50 years. Mm-hmm. It's part of the DNA in there. Now, we're in a different world now. We're in a cap world. And it's a totally different world than, I remember when I was working in Philly, we had a $70 million payroll, and I think Edmonton was $18 million. This is back in I think it was in the mid 90s. So that was a discrepancy between the good and the bad. And we were always near the top. And all of a sudden, you get into a cap world and you got to manage assets. And I remember when I got hired, Mr. Snyder, God rest his soul, he said to me, "What do you need from me?" I said, "Mr. Snyder, I need one thing. I need patience." And he said to me, "Do you not think I'm a patient man?" And I'm like, oh boy, this isn't going, I don't know if you know Mr. Snyder, I'm a pretty intimidating guy. This isn't going so well. So he was quiet for, I don't know how long it was. I probably say 45 seconds, maybe a minute. And it was a long time. And he said to me, he said, "We won 2 Stanley Cups here in the 70s because I was patient. And I don't know what happened to me after that." This is God's honest truth. And I'm like, whoa, this is going to work here. So then, I don't know what it was, 2 or 3 years later, Mr. Snyder died. And, Dave Scott took over, and Paul basically answered to Dave and Paul Holmgren. And kind of the most I've got from them is that we just weren't on the same page. And I don't really know, like, they knew we were building. They knew we were, it was going to take some time, but we were going to be competitive. We made the playoffs 2 out of 4 years, so we tried to stay as competitive as we could and still kind of build. And that's where they are right now. And that's pretty much, there's a lot of other little things I could talk about, but I think the most disappointing thing for me, you work hard, had a terrific staff, and I'm proud of the job that we did there, for sure. but to kind of put in the 4 or 5 building years there, and then all of a sudden have the carpet pulled out on you. And, I had no idea this was coming. That's, you'd think there'd be some conversations before that. I don't know whether we got to get going faster here or whatever. I mean, when I got let go, we were not playing well. November 26, 18, and we were not playing well. We were right around 500, and we were a better team than that. But we got beat bad by Toronto, and certainly I was looking to make a move to shake things up. And then all of a sudden Monday morning, and certainly disappointing to get let go, especially when you'd put a lot of the legwork in, a lot of the hard work in, and now you're going to see the fruits of the labor that you and your staff had done for the last 4.5 years, and that was disappointing. But it's also disappointing the way it went down. It just wasn't the way I felt like it should go down. But anyway,
yeah. How did it go down? I mean, they just called you out of nowhere, like you didn't see it coming whatsoever?
I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming, and then just the way it was handled was, I didn't think it was fair, but I don't want to get into that.
Yeah. So you want to manage again? And are you hoping for another opportunity? And have you been close to getting another opportunity?
Yeah, no, I don't think I've been close. I mean, I'm working for LA. I'm consulting for LA last year and this year. It's been great, quite honestly. Blake, he's a terrific guy. He's, you guys probably know him just from being around, but he's honest as the day is long, and he works, and he's just he's a terrific guy, and that's been a lot of fun. That's kind of given me, make no mistake, when I got let go in Philly there, it was very difficult. It was an organization that I loved. It was the last thing I wanted to do professionally was help Philadelphia win a Stanley Cup. And again, you're building towards that, and I think ownership knew that's what we were doing. And then, so again, I still don't quite understand it, but that was really hard on me personally. And I know my kids, I actually found out recently that it was extremely hard on them as well. Some of the, there was some things said about me off the record and stuff that were untrue or partial truths that really hurt for an organization that you worked in for 25 years. So that was tough. And when LA kind of rejuvenated me, and Blakey called me, and I go out there once every 4 or 5 weeks for a week and see some games and get back in the mix. So that's been fun. And that's when I realized, I want to go at this again.
Yeah. One more question about that, then we're going to let you go. But to watch Philadelphia has some success this year, and they got a really coach who obviously has structure now in terms of how they play, and they've got it looks like some balance on the roster, and the coach certainly has things moving in the right direction, and
goalie.
A lot of the guys that you drafted, including the goaltender, that makes a big difference as you know. Was that difficult to watch? And watch these guys now obviously kind of look like they're headed in the right direction, and they're going to be contenders here now moving forward.
Yeah, I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't difficult. It's kind of bittersweet. You're happy for the kids, to see, really a lot of those kids, and Konechny and Oscar Lindblom, who went through a lot, obviously, and Provorov and Sanheim and Myers and Hart, and even a kid like Abu Kibel. You start seeing these kids fulfilling their promise, and you're happy for the kid, and everything that you and your staff did all those years, you were right, and so part of it you're really happy and excited, and then the other part's sort of like, geez, it's kind of disappointing. So it's bittersweet for sure.
You used to hit the post like 20 times when you were playing. What were you doing?
What's wrong with you?
That's all I thought about today when I'm watching all these.
20 goals you could have had.
There's lots wrong with me, first of all. I don't – the whole post-hitting thing, I think – it started when I was a young kid. So I think it probably was, you're young and you're small – and your angle, so you're touching the post, just making sure you're in the middle of the net. I think that's how it started, and then it just kind of evolved to be a little over the top.
Wow. Hey, if there's one thing saying, listen, on behalf of St. Louis fans, they're happy that you traded Braden Shen here, though. They will say that, you know. And you got a first round pick, and you know, people always focus on the players that are coming the other way, but obviously you got a first round pick. So I'm trying to think, maybe Joel Farabee is who you drafted with that first round, or Frost, Morgan Frost, somebody.
Yeah, we actually got 2 first round picks. It was Frost and Farabee, and that's one of those trades that worked out terrific for St. Louis. It's going to work out good for the Philadelphia Flyers, and quite frankly, Braden Shen is a terrific kid, a hard worker, and it's obviously worked out extremely well for Braden. So, you know what? That's one of those deals that good for Braden and good for St. Louis. And St. Louis was at a different spot than we were at that time, and my feeling was that we had to add assets, and Braden was one of those guys that could bring good assets back. And that's so again, it's one of those who worked for both, and terrific for Braden.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it.
Well, thanks for doing this, man. It was great.
You're a man,
and
by the way.
And I can't wait to see you. You know, you'll get another opportunity, man. And great career, great stories, and
you're the best.
You know what? You left behind something that people will talk about for a long time. You had your own brand.
Although I wanted you to play forward, so always remember that. Although I would never want to play against you. So just
yes, you would have. Oh, yes, you would have.
Is there any goaltender that who's tough now? Who has a temper in the game today?
Well, Ray Emery.
Anybody?
Ray Emery would have gone toe to toe with you. You know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
I fought him in juniors.
Ole Kolzik.
Oh yeah,
those guys probably would have put me in a bag pretty quickly. Actually,
he came down one time, didn't he? Kolzik?
Who's that?
Kolzik or no? Who was it? I thought a goalie came down and you didn't end up fighting because the linesman had a hold of you. You couldn't cut loose.
He can't remember everything, Andy. For fuck's sake, that poor guy. Can he go have a beer right now? Hexy, you're the man.
Hexy, go search yourself on YouTube.
Look,
okay, you'll find
seriously, go look yourself on YouTube like I do when I drink 20 beers a night.
I'm trying to forget about those wacky things that happen.
You're the man.
So I'm not going to search YouTube.
I'll send it to you. How about that?
All right.
Hey, thank you so much for everything. We appreciate it. You were great.
All right, you guys. It was a lot of fun.
All right,
sounds
good stuff,
man.
buddy. Take care.
Take care. All right, bye.
Man, Ronnie Hextall.
Fucking A.
Tell you where his cool zone was, right there in the blue paint.
Motherfuck.
Okay.
He don't give a fuck. You're going to get slashed in the face? He'll do it. You want to draft a first-round pick? He'll do it. You want to break down a game that's a junior game that you probably don't know much about? He'll do it. The guy's a hockey mind.
Yes.
One way or the other.
So
and a killer.
Flyer fans always be indebted to this guy.
How can you not?
Always be indebted. Not only what he did, the blood, the sweat, the intensity, the willingness as a goalie to stick up for your teammates.
Why is he sticking up and no one else? Ronnie Hextall sticking up for your fucking teammates and no one else?
And now
that dude's a fucking man.
Now he's drafted and essentially put together a championship contending team.
Fucking A.
Without even being there.
He gets fucking fired. I'm like, Jesus,
I mean, come on,
what
Flyers.
The fuck?
They make me not want to like the Flyers.
Hextall.
It makes me not want to like the Flyers.
Why is there two names, Hextall and Hextall, in the same organization?
I feel like they've got issues.
How fucked up is that?
I mean, even how they handled the Lindros situation years ago. Like, I mean,
horrible.
It's just one thing after another.
Well, they won 2 cups when they shouldn't have.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah, when they were like picking teams out of like 12 teams, they're picking or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they went two in a row because they were psycho tough.
Yeah.
And they picked all these guys and they figured it out. And then all of a sudden the tough guy group came from the Flyers. Like, you have to respect that. Me personally, you look at the Flyers group in the 70s, late 70s, they brought the tough guy era to the fucking NHL.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You should like the
time.
Flyers from back
yes.
then. I just don't like some other stuff that's
like
gone
what?
on since then. Well, there's a reason why they haven't won for all these
Oh,
years,
no.
right?
After the era. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the Boston Bruins came in and were tough. And then fucking late 80s.
Who's the toughest team in the league right now? On the
It's
spot.
a great right now. Vegas.
Are they?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
a good answer.
Is
it strictly because of Ryan Reeves? Like, who
Well,
else?
what do you want to do? Washington.
Washington's got some toughness.
They got Gudis on. Yeah, Ovi's a big tough guy. You can't just.
Dallas has
Dallas
some
is
underrated
tougher than
toughness,
fuck.
man.
Oleksiak will fuck you up.
Can you believe that world class? Have you ever seen a face wash like Oleksiak on Patty?
Patty, I love you.
How do you
homie.
get out of that?
Patty, I love you.
Did that ever happen
to you?
to
Patty's family's listening right now. I know y'all.
We love Patty.
This is 2 weeks from now, but I love you guys. I want you to invite me to the Stanley Cup party if it goes down.
I'm coming back.
Don't shoot a puck in their. Don't shoot a fucking puck in their fucking. In their bench, Patty. Like I like that, but I'd rather you go run somebody over.
But let me tell you this, and I bet you Patty would say that. I think
I'd rather run somebody over.
I think it's one of those things where you.
I know
you
what
do
it was.
And then right when it happens, you're like, oh, fuck.
No, he's a mother. Andy, Patty's a motherfucker.
Could have gotten a game
Andy's
for that.
a mother.
Could have gotten a game.
Patty don't give a fuck. Okay, but Patty, instead of doing that and get a 10, you should have got a game because you hit fucking Kiviranta right in the face. You hit Kiviranta in the face. You probably should have got a game.
How do you say it?
Kiviranta. If you hit him in the face like that, you probably should have got a game. If you hit me in the jaw because you purposely...
Did it kind of graze off the face?
It doesn't fucking matter.
But he's lucky.
You're lucky to get a game.
Nobody seriously got hurt.
Exactly. You should have got a 5. You could have got hardcore.
Kiviranta, if you're smart, you would have acted like you were hurt.
He hit him in the face. Kiviranta was like, I'm a fucking Finn. I'm a
hurt.
bad motherfucker. I don't give a shit. That's what he said. And he only got 10. Patty, you played like shit that game. You need to come out and bring the heat, homeboy. And again, we're not releasing this for a while, so we'll evaluate when
Except it's coming out tomorrow. So.
Oh, it is coming out tomorrow. Yeah, this is the preem. No, fuck. Okay, fine. No, Patty, bring them fucking heat tonight. Then we're not gonna be able to dissect this. Patty, bring the heat. I didn't notice you, homie. I didn't notice you. Figure it out. Let's go. Let's go get this thing to Game 7.
All right.
And then invite me and Andy to your
That's right.
Stanley Cup
We're coming back.
And then some 70-year-old woman will choke me in the fucking
oh my
neck.
God, choked out.
We're not talking about that yet.
No.
We're not. That's another day.
We have Patty
we
on
have
with us.
Patty on. We're going to talk about the fucking
We're gonna
the
have
Stanley Cup party. You guys have no idea.
No, but we have guys that are like
they have no fucking
now that
idea.
it's like the off season, even though it's the fall, it's actually the season, but it's the off season. So now guys are coming back into town. So we'll start having more and more guys live with us.
We haven't talked about that party
No,
yet.
we will.
And everybody's like, we have it, baby. You'll fucking see. Choked out by a fucking 7-year-old woman.
Cam did.
Fuck.
Cam got choked out by a old
I
lady.
did nothing wrong.
I was standing right there.
My wife, if my wife's on my side, I did nothing wrong. And she was pissed.
All this, my wife and I are just standing there like, oh my God.
Did I do any? I am the most not. Don't get me started.
Patty's sister.
Stop.
Patty's sister.
Stop.
Don't write that.
I
won't.
I fucking almost lost my mind because I'm sticking up for him. All right. We'll talk about it later.
No, we love
Good
Patty.
God. Good God.
And all the Maroons.
It wasn't them. It was everybody. It was a new group of people that came into the party. Go ahead. We're not talking about it.
CarShield.com. You keep saying that. You keep talking about it. 800-857-2481. Speaking of CarShield, Patty Maroon, you see him on those commercials. Save 10%. Mention the promo code CAM.
Yeah.
Should change it to Pat. Okay.
Okay.
No, actually, keep Cam.
Yeah,
I like
thank
that.
you.
Promo code CAM. Save 10%. CarShield.com. 800-857-2481. Save yourself thousands of dollars. Really, honestly, that's what it comes down to. You don't spend a lot for your coverage.
Like, Jesus,
do you want to save money or not? And you don't spend a
out.
lot of money. And the best part is you kind of construct your own term of the deals. You don't have to sign a long-term commitment.
Exactly.
For those of you that are uncommitted.
Your fucking jeans you
All right.
got on.
You like my jeans?
Yeah, don't get distracted, Joe.
GadgetBuyback.com. 877-772-8880. You have a crack phone, crack tablet, crack watch. Are you on crack? Check out GadgetBuyback.com. If you have a crack phone and you're at the bar, you're not doing what, dog?
You ain't getting pussy. Oh, look at this hot broad. I'm going to go give her my phone to fucking put it. No. She's like, what, dick fuck? Like, get the fuck away from me, nerd boy. Your cracked fucking phone. You can't afford to get fucking that fixed. Get the fuck on. I'm a dime piece, nerd.
GadgetBuyback.com. If you're local in the Oakville area, stop by. If you're stop by the Maroon house, then you go get your phone fixed. Or drop off your phone. You can do it while you're away, or you can drop it off, go to the Maroon house, come back, and it'll be ready for you. Just like that.
Go to Blarney Stone. Phil fix your phone for you. Phil's like Patty's older brother, by the way.
Yeah, I love it.
We love him. We love all
877-772-8880. HockeyTraining.com, man. They're making me a better player. They can make you a better player. Become a better player. Be committed, man.
Look, it's just,
and again, be a VIP. Doesn't cost a lot of money. HockeyTraining.com.
Can I stop you? Jesus Christ. Can I take over this? Do you see what we do? All you. Go ahead. Look on YouTube. Look at our fucking facility in St. Louis. We invite people down left and right. Now, I know it's quarantine and coronavirus. Think when normal things happen again. We're inviting everybody down. We pay money for people to come down to this beautiful facility. We have everything lined up. Get your fucking game on. Because when you come down here and you play, you get evaluated. You do. It's like, how cool are you in the locker room? Are you good on the ice? Like, how can we implement you this way and the other? We could pay you money. The point is, get your groove on when you're a little bit older. All you got to do is a little bit of workouts here and there. You're working out anyway. Either you go to the gym and stare at chicks all day, or you just do your shit in your fucking garage, man. And it just gets you a little bit better. Your hands are better. Your speed's better. It's just a simple thing to do that's a lot cheaper, and you can get it done in your garage, Andy Strickland. Yeah. And now you get invited to nice things.
And get the speed kit. Become quicker. Get the speed quit. Hockeytraining.com. Say what up to our boys Kevin and Dan.
Guys.
What about VictorHockey.com? I mean, at Victor Hockey
Everybody's asking about it today.
They said, where'd you
Wayne
get that
Gretzky
hat?
asked about it today.
Did he?
And his wife, Janet.
No, they didn't.
I call her Paulina.
Oh, my God. You can't do that.
I fucked up.
It's Janet, dude.
I fucked up.
Did they really ask you about the hat?
Yeah. They're like, what's that? I go, hey, Paulina.
You know why? Because that one has the palm tree on it, so they're like, is that out of L.A., Southern SoCal?
She's like, hey, that's good. And I go, hey, thanks, Paulina. She goes, I'm Janet. I'm like, fuck me.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, okay, shoot me.
That is so embarrassing.
Is there a cliff I can jump off of?
That is so
good
embarrassing.
Good thing Chaser didn't fucking see that. Good Lord.
That is so embarrassing. But what's not embarrassing is Victor Hockey.
Great.
VictorHockey.com, their hats, their T-shirts, their hoodies. I wear the hoodie.
No, Creditor's like, what is that? I go,
yeah.
I go, here, you want
it? You
it?
didn't tell him. You said, it's Victor Hockey,
I go, it's
dude.
Victor Hockey. And he's like, oh, cool, where are they out? I'm like, oh, fuck this, that, and the other. I go,
I'm going to bring him a hat. Hey, send me another hat for Gretzky.
I know.
I got to drop.
Janet.
And Janet. We'll drop them off. But
called her Paulina.
At Victor Hockey USA is their Instagram and their Twitter. Just check it out, man. Use the promo code Cam and Strick. You'll save 20%. So we're saving you money. Yeah. And listen, just put it in there. Listen, I'm a listener to Cam and Strick Podcast, dude. They'll hook you up 20%. Get yourself one of the hats because they're sick-ass hats. VictorHockey.com. Bellman.com. Get the pre-owned cars, the new cars, all in Troy, Missouri. Cadillac, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Get that pink Jeep, small wheels, 2 doors.
Or fucking get the shit kicker Jeep.
Or get an Escalade like I'm getting.
Be a pimp then.
Yeah.
Or you got to fucking get a dually.
With some black
ass.
Get
the fuck whatever you.
Don't do that.
Andy.
Don't get a dually.
Stop it.
Don't do a dually.
Stop it.
No one wants that.
Stop
You're the only one that wants one.
Oh, well, you don't have a boat, motherfucker. I like how you chirp me.
Riverboat?
I like how you chirp me.
Riverboat, that sounds cool.
No, fuck you. I like how you fucking...
I want to be in the Gulf of Mexico.
Then go down there. With what boat? Are you going to be in a fucking kayak? What boat do you have down in the Gulf of Mexico? You can get a boat and go 2 miles down the road and be on the river. So don't fucking chirp river
I take
boats.
the kayak, dude, when I go to Klondike,
you know how many people,
Klondike Lake.
No, fuck you. You know how many people have river boats on this podcast?
A lot of people.
And they're fucking pissed at you right now for saying that? Oh, sorry. We're not good enough for you to be down at Gulf. Get the fuck on.
The best part about...
These are my boys, homie. These are my fucking boys.
Sources say the best day you have a boat is the day you sell it.
You're a fucking joke.
I've heard that.
You're a fucking joke. All y'all. Gang up on them.
Y'all.
All y'all. No, you're on my team.
You
guys know what I'm talking about. You got your riverboats from Canada.
I love the riverboat.
No, fuck that. You got your riverboats from Canada. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes you blow your engine out. Sometimes you got to go. No, we all get it. Andy doesn't get it. Let's make sure he understands it.
Don't be a cake
Tweet
eater.
at his ass. Tweet at me. Tweet at Andy. I want to see your Bud Light Seltzer. I want to see you guys in your groove spot. I want to see you on your boat. I want to see you grilling. I want to see you in your car.
I want to see you in your cool spot.
I want to see you in your
cool zone, dude.
Your fucking cool zone. What makes you happy? Send it to us. We'll fucking reply to you, man. That helps us. It helps you. It just makes us feel good, man. When you know that you got a Bud Light Seltzer, you got your car, you got this, that, and the other. Just show us. Show us on Twitter.
All right.
And Facebook and Instagram.
We love it. We love it.
We do.
Okay, Bud Light Seltzer, you mentioned that.
Don't share boats anymore, Andy.
Dude, I love boats.
I can't take it anymore.
Dude, I took my boat on I took my boat out on Klondike Lake. I'm taking it out there this weekend, dude. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You're in a fucking pond. There's not even you can't even fit a boat on that pond. So stop it. You're not in our group yet,
I'm
Andy.
pulling it.
You're not. No.
My Volvo.
I got my group. You got your group. I don't know what your group is.
I'm pulling it in my Volvo.
All y'all Canadians, you know what I'm talking about, baby. We'll gang up on Andy. We're good to go.
Don't do that.
No, we're not. I don't want you to gang up on him. I stick up for him. He's like my brother now. Don't gang up on him, but he needs a boat, and we're gonna figure that out. So show him what we do.
4 flavors: strawberry, lemon, lime, black cherry, and mango.
Mango. Is there anybody around here? Because we're at a country club right now. I'll say it right now.
Mango.
Mango. Oh, God. Here, the security's coming. Oh, God. Security's coming. Oh, boy.
That's okay. They probably want one. They probably want a Bud Light seltzer. We'll hook you up with a mango, baby.
Take one then, baby.
Come on
you
over.
You might get fucking late tonight.
Come on over. And obviously, Cope24, man. Cope24.com. Our girl, Renee.
Can I just talk to her and, like, feel good about myself?
Yeah, anytime you want,
that?
dude.
Like, I'm like, Renee, Kate and I she got pissed at me last night. She's like, okay, let's sit down real quick. Here's the deal, Cam. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, my God.
She's like Renee.
Oh, but Renee's the best of the best. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not doing good tonight. She's like, well, what's wrong? Let's sit down and talk about it. Like, that's what she does.
Yeah, I like that.
You don't need it. I do.
No,
like, sorry, you're
all
perfect.
You're
fucking perfect.
We're perfect.
Like, sorry, Kate gets mad at me all the time. I got to talk to Renee about it. Like,
everybody
fuck,
does.
Man. Like,
everybody
sorry.
does.
She's
we
my
love
therapist.
you, Renee. And again, we got a great event coming up. We'll tell you about that as we get closer. And the photo shoot, the cover, is coming out soon.
Sexy as shit. Although I look
Cam
fat in the
is
coat
wearing
pictures.
his like
his
Ricky Williams Texas Longhorns jersey.
Why'd I do that? Fuck. Was it that bad, do you think?
No, dude, it was fine.
Fuck.
It was fine.
Embarrassing.
All right, this has been episode number 76. Am I right about that? 76?
Yeah, we're good.
Ron Hextall, man, we can't thank him enough for coming on with us. True legend and forever a part of the Cam and Strick podcast.
Fucking bad boy.
Not podcast.
Fucking bad
podcast. Where's your cool zone?
Figure it out.
Hit us up.
Send it to me, baby. Let's go. Ron Hextall.